I've touched on some of my findings here in terms of clubs. The club support, you know, I think, you know, we should have a league full of head coaches that are pro-licensed coaches. So the coaching standard is crucial to me. And of course, there's good work going on. You know, there's good work going on, but I want to improve it. You know, so it's normal for me to make sure we in this country have far more pro-licensed coaches than we currently do. That we have far more A-licensed coaches than we currently do. It's low. It's low, very low. And B-licensed as well. And I know, I understand there's been some previous issues with the Confederation and so on, but you know, it's my job now to find a solution to all of that. You know, I've seen the thirst for knowledge of coaches out there on my travel, you know, and the amount of games and training and players playing from young players to older players. It's fantastic to see. Every hour of the day, you can see people enjoying playing football all across the country, all types of facilities, you know, so that passion is clearly there, you know, and that excites me, that it's a country full of passion for football, because when you have that as a starter, it gives you so many opportunities, you know, and the facilities are improving by the day. It's not an easy challenge to develop facilities everywhere and get other key partners to invest, as well as the Federation, for other key partners to invest across the country in facilities. Some areas are doing it better than others. Some cities are doing it better than others. But 6 or 7 hours, if I was to talk through each department, what elements of their work they're going to do. But I can assure you that as part of the coach education, it will be to develop coaches that specialise in coaching young players, okay, and we emphasise that area of work. From the age of 11, 12, the regional player development manager is then looking at the development of players in those age groups, 11, 12, 14, which I mentioned in my presentation. And also
السؤال هو جو المنتخبات الفئات العمرية حاليا لا تتوفر على مدربين أقل من 17 أقل من 19. ما هي المعايير التي ستتخذونها من أجل اختيار المدرب الأنسب لهذه الفئات، خصوصا وأنك ذكرت أنه يجب أن يكون عمل جماعي بين جميع مدربي الفئات العمرية، وهل تفضل مدرب محلي أم أجنبي؟
I prefer good coaches. Whoever. I want the players deserve the best coaches. So the best coaches will work with the players. You know, that's fundamental. You know, if that coach is Frank Lampard, who had a fantastic playing career and is now a coach beating Ajax last night, that's great. But if he's a Jose Mourinho, who never played, but he's a great coach, I want that great coach. I want the best coaches. Okay? But of course, what we won't do, and what I certainly don't want to miss out on, is the experience that these international players have had in the past, and how we can use that experience to help the younger generation. But first and foremost, he must be a coach. Okay? He can't be a player that just comes in and thinks, I can coach just because I was a player. You've seen, I've worked with some top players. Yeah? Not only as players, but as coaches. You've seen some of them on there. I'm saying top players. I've worked with them. Okay? So I know that the humility required, okay? The lack of ego required by that top player to learn to be a coach. Okay? And if that happens, it's possible for them to be a top coach also. A top player that can become a top coach. But they have to adapt. They have to learn to be a coach. Okay? And I can't wait to work with those guys. The guys who have got that great football background as a player, I can't wait to work with them. You know, I'm looking forward to doing that as soon as possible, because I want to help them become the best coaches they can be. I've done it all my life. The evidence is there, you know. So I want to do that here in Morocco for sure.
مرحبا السيد مدير التقني. بغينا نعرفوا فريق العمل، يعني هوية فريق العمل الذي سوف يشتغل مع السيد أوشن، وكذلك موقع كرة القدم داخل القاعة فوتسال، خاصة المنتخب الوطني فوتسال هو بطل إفريقيا. ما شفناش في الأورغانيغرام ديال الإدارة التقنية الوطنية، وكذلك حدود العلاقة مع المدرب المنتخب الوطني الأول.
I'll take the futsal one first. I'm a big fan of futsal. It's actually a bigger game here than it is in a lot of countries, in particular Wales. We have national teams in Wales, but here I think it's it's at a great stage. It's one of the things I think that is working very, very well. In terms of my involvement, it's in the organigram, but it will be under the licensing and development director. So beach soccer, futsal, those elements will come under development department. Okay, so far they'll be off to a tournament shortly at the beginning of November. But so far, my involvement in futsal has been very, very limited. Okay, my priorities have been elsewhere for now. But once I have my staff in place, once I have my structure in place, I will definitely be spending more time in those areas, futsal in particular. In relation to your second question about my relationship with Vahid, of course, I know Vahid. We've both been here a short period of time. He's been very busy, as he is now, traveling around Europe, monitoring players, speaking to players, which means that I won't see him this week, for example. I've seen 2 of the A-team games so far, not all of them, because of other games. The 23s were in Mali at the same time, and when we played our last game, I was out in Mauritania doing an opposition analysis report for Vahid. So I was helping him prepare for our next game against Mauritania. So we're working together in that way. But I certainly, you'll have seen there, I've always, as a technical director, worked very closely with my manager. In fact, for the last 3, Gary Speed, Chris Coleman, Ryan Giggs, I was their assistant manager. So I was that close. So I know how important it is, technical director, first team manager, to have a close relationship. And that's certainly something we'll be focusing on moving forward. But so far, it's something I would have liked to have done more of already with Vahid and be more involved and more supportive. But that's been difficult because he has his priority with the A-team, and I've had priorities for putting this structure in place and meeting people. But once this is done, I'm definitely hoping I can then spend a lot more time with Vahid, with the A-team, and help in any areas that I can. I'm going to wait until we clearly understand, what benefits there may be. There may be some other areas where they can really help what we do. They may be in the area of the girls' game. They will be able to develop some opportunities for girls to play. Clubs can't, for example. But that's something I want to look at in detail and make decisions on the best way forward.
Question suivante.
صلاح الدين محسن جريدة الصباح. بالنسبة للسي أوشن، مرحبا بك في المغرب. بغيت أولا نعرفوا متى سيتم الإعلان على الأسماء ديال المدربين ديال الفئات الصغرى، على اعتبار أنه المدة الإقصائيات ربما تنطلق في مارس، وكنعرفوا بأن هذه الفئات هادو كيحتاجوا لواحد التحضير اللي هو كبير، علما على أنه الأغلبية ديال المديرين التقنيين اللي مروا بالإدارة التقنية كيتلقاو انتقادات كثيرة بالنسبة في هذه الفئات هذو ديال الصغر، لأنه ما كيحققوش نتائج على المستوى القاري، وأغلبية كيتقصاو في الإقصائيات. ثاني حاجة اللي بغيت نسول عليها هو فيما يتعلق بغينا نعرفوا شحال ديال العدد ديال الأشخاص اللي غادي يشتغلوا معك فيما يخص مديرية التكوين، واش غادي يكون هناك اعتماد يعني بجانب كبير على الاطر الوطنيه او المغربيه، ام غادي يكون هناك اجانب اللي غادي يعاونوك في المديريه، كنهضر في المديريه ديال التكوين، واش فعلا كاين هناك عندنا يعني مدربين اللي
On, again, within that coach education department, there will be national staff to focus on the elite courses, the pro license and the A license staff. So those will be within the national structure, and the that I demonstrated in my organigram will be focusing on the B license and below within the leagues. You know, so there'll be a local provision B and below, and then obviously the elite courses will be done mostly by these coaches coming in. Who those coaches will be, I will tell you after the closing date. So we will see who applies, who the best people are, and then we will look to get the best people in to help our coaches here. Until we've had our applications in and the closing date, we will have to wait to see who will be coming into that into that department. One thing is clear: that my aim here is to leave a legacy